Hello and welcome back to Joe's Math Tools. In our session today, we are simplifying another expression using our distributive property. And if you're ready to see how this is done, let's get started. So in our expression today that we will be simplifying using our distributive property, we are working with two different types of variables today. And in working with our two different types of variables, just remember that whenever you are simplifying expressions with unlike terms, we always simplify the terms that are like together and then the ones that are different. We simply do not combine them together, especially when we are working with addition and subtraction. So let's begin. We're going to begin by simplifying our first parentheses, which I will work out at the side. We have 7, and in parentheses we have x plus 6y. And we are distributing our 7 to x, and we know that 7 times x will equal to 7x. And then when we distribute our 7 to our 6y, just like we did in our previous video, remember that this means that 7 is being multiplied to 6, which is being multiplied to y. And we're going to multiply our numbers together. 7 times 6 will give you 42. And then when you multiply 42 times y, which would equal to 42y. And then we will plug that back into our equation. So that is the simplified form of our first parenthesis. So we have 7x plus 42y. And now we are going to simplify our second parenthesis. And in simplifying this parenthesis, I would also take my subtraction sign, which will now work as a negative sign in my distribution. And I will be distributing the sign along with my 2 to both of my terms. So 2 will be multiplied to 3x. So our negative 2 times 3x, just like above, it will be negative 2 times 3 times x, which will equal to our negative 6 times x, which would equal to negative 6x. And then we will put in our negative 6x. And pretty much once you get the flow of how these numbers are or how these terms are distributed, you kind of get an idea as to how to work through your distribution with your other terms as well. So like we did before, remember that our numbers are multiplied together. So I'm multiplying negative 2 times 2, which will equal to negative 4. And then remember that we always return our variable back to our coefficient. So now let's plug that into our expression. And let's begin simplifying by collecting our like terms together. So we have 7x and we have minus 6x. And remember that those two will work out together. So 7x when in minus 6x will equal to x. So we will have just x leaving. And remember that 1x and x is exactly the same thing. So you have no need to write the 1. And then we have our 42 subtracting 4, which will equal to 38. And we return our variable of y. And because these two terms are unlike, they can't be simplified any further. So our expression, when simplified, will equal to x plus 38y. Okay, so there you have it. We just simplified our expression when we're working with coefficients and we're working with two different forms or two different types of variables. I remember that as you work through these questions, always begin by applying the steps that you know you should take. Take your time as you work through your questions, and if need be, double check, triple check. But these expressions are very easy for you to simplify. You just need to remember how to apply your rules when you are multiplying algebraic expression. And until next time, I'll see you right here in the next video on Jules Math Tools, where we aim to make math easy.